Bill Wyman, born William Perks Jr. on October 24th, 1936, in London's Lewisham district, grew up in the aftermath of World War II, a time of hardship and economic struggle. Raised in a working-class family, Wyman's early years were marked by modesty and perseverance, qualities that would later define both his character and career. Though far removed from the rock and roll world he would eventually dominate, his childhood laid the foundation for the steady determination and creative spirit that would propel him to international fame as the basis of the Rolling Stones and later into a multifaceted solo career. The son of William Perks Sr., a soldier who later became a taxi driver, and Molly Perks, a devoted homemaker, Bill was the second of 3 children. His father worked long hours to support the family, while his mother dedicated herself to raising the children and ensuring they had what they needed despite financial strain. Like many working-class neighborhoods in post-war London, Lewisham bore the scars of World War II, with gray, bomb-damaged streets serving as the backdrop to Wyman's early years. The family lived in a small, cramped flat, leaving little room for luxuries. Extravagant holidays or lavish gifts were out of reach. Instead, survival and frugality were the norm. Even in such an environment, however, Wyman displayed a natural curiosity about the world around him. Despite their modest means, Bill's parents had a cultural vibrancy that shaped his upbringing. His mother, Molly, had a strong appreciation for jazz, blues, and swing music, which subtly influenced young Bill. Encouraged to develop an ear for music, he was naturally drawn to it. At the age of 10, he began learning the piano, inspired by the sounds coming from his mother's record player. The music of the time, especially jazz and blues, left a profound impact on him. Legends like Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, and Big Bill Broonzy filled the air in their humble home, fostering in Bill a deep connection to music. However, his piano lessons were short-lived as the family's financial situation worsened, and Bill was expected to help support them. As a result, his early musical pursuits were put on hold, and he took on odd jobs to contribute. As Bill entered his teenage years, he became more introspective, a quiet, reserved boy who found solace in music. While many of his peers engaged in sports or socialized, Wyman was captivated by the emotive power of jazz and blues. It was during this time that he discovered the electric guitar, an instrument that would soon become a major force in his life. At 14, he picked up his first guitar, fascinated by its ability to produce a sound that was both vibrant and expressive. Drawn to the guitar's role in jazz and blues ensembles, he dedicated himself to learning the instrument, despite not having formal training. He taught himself by drawing inspiration from his favorite musicians, including American rock and roll pioneers like Chuck Berry and Buddy Holly. His natural musical talent soon became evident. By his late teens, he transitioned from the guitar to the bass guitar, an instrument that would define his future in music. It was a decision that would change the course of his life. Wyman's shift to bass guitar was sparked by attending a live performance by the British band the Barron Knights. Intrigued by the bass guitar's foundational yet powerful role in the music, he decided to switch instruments. His passion for the bass led him to take an unconventional route in obtaining one. Unable to afford a professional bass guitar, he built his own. Using an old guitar, he removed its frets and repurposed it into a homemade bass guitar. This act of resourcefulness not only showcased his ingenuity, but also foreshadowed the distinctiveness that would later define his music. His ability to create a unique sound from humble and imperfect beginnings hinted at the musical persona he would develop in years to come. Around this time, he began playing in local pubs and bars, honing his craft. Though these gigs were small, they provided valuable experience, allowing him to refine his technique and establish himself within the local music scene. His early performances were characterized by his solid technique and impeccable timing, qualities that would later become hallmarks of his playing style. Before pursuing music full-time, Wyman took a detour through the military, serving in the Royal Air Force from 1955 to 1958. Stationed at various locations, he gained valuable life experience that helped shape his approach to music and band dynamics. The discipline, structure, and patience he developed in the military proved crucial, teaching him the importance of consistency and perseverance. After completing his service, Wyman returned to London with a renewed determination to focus on music. However, the path to success was not easy. He continued playing in small bars and clubs, gradually making a name for himself as a bassist with a distinctive style. As rock and roll exploded across the UK, Wyman saw an opportunity to take his career to the next level, inspired by artists like Little Richard and Elvis Presley. He shifted his focus to rock and roll bass playing, influenced by the raw energy and innovation of these American musicians. In 1961, he joined a local band called the Cliftons, marking his first serious experience playing in a group setting. However, Wyman was not content with the band's limited creative scope. He yearned for a larger stage and the chance to work with musicians who shared his aspirations. That opportunity came in 1962, when he was introduced to the Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones, a band that was beginning to gain attention in the London music scene, became a global legend, and the story of Bill Wyman joining the group is one of serendipity and skill. At the time, the Stones were searching for a bassist, and Wyman, who had already built a reputation for his unique playing style, seized the opportunity. During his audition, he not only showcased his bass-playing abilities, but also brought a crucial piece of equipment, his own sound amplifier. This rare and expensive gear impressed the band's founders, Mick Jagger, Keith Richards, and Brian Jones, securing Wyman's place in the Rolling Stones. In the early days, the band struggled to find its footing, playing in small clubs for little pay and facing the hardships of the British music scene. However, Wyman's steady presence and precise bass playing provided a stabilizing force. His minimalist style allowed the other members to explore their musical ideas while maintaining a solid foundation. His bass lines, though often simple, were always effective, enhancing the songs without overpowering the vocals or guitars. Wyman's calm demeanor also played a critical role in the band's dynamics. While Jagger and Richards often took center stage, Wyman remained reserved, offering support and balance. His ability to mediate conflicts and keep the band focused during difficult times was essential to their long-term success. As the Rolling Stones' popularity exploded in the 1960s, Wyman's bass lines became a crucial part of their signature sound and musical legacy. Throughout his career with the band, Wyman was not just a bassist. He was a foundational part of their identity. His bass lines in iconic songs like I Can't Get No Satisfaction, Paint It Black, and Jumping Jack Flash helped define the band's distinctive sound. Though his role was often understated compared to his bandmates, his contributions were integral to the Stones' success. Wyman also made occasional songwriting contributions, most notably with Another Land, featured on the album Their Satanic Majesty's Request, showcasing his ability to create something unique within the Stones' sonic universe. Despite his crucial role, Wyman's time with the band was not without challenges. The band's internal conflicts and scandals often tested his patience, but his steadying influence helped keep them together. In 1993, after over 3 decades with the band, Wyman decided to leave the Rolling Stones. His departure was not due to personal conflicts, but rather a desire for a quieter, more private life. Wyman's role in the Rolling Stones is often overshadowed by the more flamboyant personalities of Jagger and Richards, but his contributions were foundational. Joining the band in 1962, his steady bass lines and understated presence formed the bedrock of their early success. Unlike many of his peers, Wyman was a man of few words, and his reserved demeanor provided a sense of grounding that allowed the band to navigate their tumultuous rise to fame. Alongside drummer Charlie Watts, Wyman formed a rhythm section that became the backbone of the Stones' distinctive sound. His bass playing, though subtle, was intricate and drove songs like Paint It Black, Jumping Jack Flash, and Gimme Shelter. The Stones' success was not only due to Jagger's charisma and Richard's songwriting brilliance, but also Wyman's musical sensibility, which enriched their sound without overtaking it. As the band's popularity soared in the 1960s and 1970s, Wyman remained a key but quiet figure, content with his background role. His refusal to chase fame allowed the band to operate as a cohesive unit, and his personal life, though complicated, never overshadowed the music he created. For 3 decades, Wyman was integral to the Stones' success, providing the stability necessary to support one of the most influential bands in rock history. In 1993, after more than 3 decades of the Rolling Stones, Wyman made the decision to leave the band. His departure, while shocking the fans, was a culmination of years of personal reflection. Wyman had always valued peace and privacy, and as the years went on, he grew disillusioned with the relentless pace of touring and recording. Despite the financial rewards and the rock star lifestyle, he began to crave something deeper and more meaningful than the constant cycle of fame and public scrutiny. Wyman's departure marked the beginning of a new chapter in his life, one of creative exploration and personal fulfillment. It was at this point that his solo career began to take shape more fully, though he had already started experimenting with solo work long before leaving the Stones. Wyman's first solo album, Monkey Grip, released in 1974, was a bold departure from the music he made with the Rolling Stones. This album allowed him to blend various styles, from funk to rock to blues, reflecting his true creative impulses. Though not a commercial success, it received critical acclaim for its experimental nature and showcased a side of Wyman that had been hidden behind his bass guitar in the Stones. Tracks like I Want to Get Me a Gun and What a Blow demonstrate his ability to craft memorable melodies and integrate complex rhythms, cementing his identity as a versatile artist. Wyman continued to explore his musical creativity with albums like Stone Alone 1976 and Bill Wyman 1982, which were deeply personal and introspective, addressing themes of love, loss, and the challenges of life. These works offered fans a unique perspective on the man behind the bass guitar and served as a form of self-discovery for Wyman. In 1997, Wyman embarked on perhaps his most meaningful post-Stones musical endeavor with the formation of Bill Wyman's Rhythm Kings. Unlike his earlier solo projects, which were experimental and introspective, this group marked a return to his roots, focusing on blues, jazz, and classic rock. The Rhythm Kings allowed Wyman to reconnect with the music that had initially inspired him, and the project became a celebration of his lifelong passion for music. Through this group, Wyman continued to showcase his versatility and creativity, proving that his contributions to music extended far beyond his time with the Rolling Stones. Bill Wyman's Rhythm Kings mark a return to the music that had inspired him in his youth, blues and classic rock. Unlike his earlier experimental solo projects, this band was not focused on producing chart-topping hits, but instead aimed to deliver authentic, raw musical performances that emphasize emotion and personal expression. Featuring a stellar lineup of musicians, including Gary Brooker, Albert Lee, and Georgie fame, the Rhythm Kings created intimate performances characterized by Wyman's laid-back presence and a deep connection with the audience. Their focus on timeless songs like Baby Please Don't Go and Let the Good Times Roll made their shows feel like a celebration of music's rich history. Wyman's passion for these genres was evident in every note, and the band's improvisational approach allowed them to put their own spin on familiar songs, drawing from a deep well of musical tradition. Beyond music, Wyman pursued a range of personal hobbies, including photography and treasure hunting. An avid photographer, his work has been featured in numerous art exhibitions, showcasing candid shots of his bandmates, landscapes, and intimate moments. His photographs reflect a sensitivity and awareness of the world that contrasts with the typical rock star image, offering fans a glimpse into his unique perspective. Wyman also developed a passion for treasure hunting with metal detectors, a hobby he began in the 1990s. His discoveries, which included ancient coins and medieval artifacts, were not only personal treasures, but also historical finds. He contributed many of these artifacts to museums, ensuring their preservation for future generations. These hobbies spoke to Wyman's fascination with history and his desire to connect with the past in a deeply personal and meaningful way. Wyman's personal life, however, was far more complex, marked by both triumphs and controversies. His first marriage to Diane Corey in 1959, during his early years as a struggling musician, ended in divorce in 1969 due to the pressures of his rising fame and the chaotic lifestyle of being in the Rolling Stones. Despite the split, they remain on friendly terms, particularly for the sake of their son, Stephen. One of the most controversial aspects of Wyman's life emerged in the 1980s, when he began a relationship with Mandy Smith, who was just 13 years old at the time. They married in 1989 when she turned 18, but the relationship, which began when she was underage, sparked intense media scrutiny and public outrage. The marriage lasted only 2 years and left a stain on Wyman's public image. The situation became even more complicated in 1993 when Wyman's son Stephen married Mandy's mother, Patti Smith, further entangling the family dynamics in scandal. Despite these controversies, Wyman eventually found stability and peace in his personal life. In 1993, he married Suzanne Costa, a designer and model, with whom he had 3 daughters, Catherine, Jessica, and Matilda. Suzanne brought balance and tranquility to Wyman's life, and the family found solace in their home at Gedding Hall, a peaceful estate in Suffolk, England. In 2016, Wyman faced a new challenge when he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. The diagnosis shocked fans and served as a reminder that even icons must confront the realities of aging and health. However, Wyman faces illness with remarkable resilience. Thanks to early detection and timely treatment, he successfully overcame cancer. His battle was not just a personal fight for survival, but also a testament to the strength of will that had carried him to the challenges of his long career. Since his recovery, Wyman has used his experience to raise awareness about prostate cancer, encouraging others to seek early detection and proper treatment. His openness about his diagnosis and recovery has inspired fans and demonstrated the unyielding human spirit in the face of adversity. Now in his late 80s, Bill Wyman has stepped away from the mainstream spotlight, but his creative energy remains undiminished. In 2024, he released a new solo album, Drive My Car, marking his return to the music scene after nearly a decade. The album, which blends rhythm and blues with Wyman's signature style, reflects his enduring creativity and commitment to his craft. It features both original compositions and covers of songs by his favorite artists, such as Bob Dylan and John Prine. In addition to music, Wyman continues to share his story through writing. In 2024, he published 2 new books, Billy and the Wars, a memoir about his childhood during World War II, and Bill Wyman's Chelsea, a tribute to the London neighborhood that profoundly influenced him. These works, along with his ongoing photography exhibitions, allow Wyman to connect with fans and offer a glimpse into his life beyond the stage. Bill Wyman's legacy is one of creativity, resilience, and authenticity. From his iconic role as the bassist of the Rolling Stones to his quiet yet profound solo journey, Wyman's life serves as a reminder that true greatness lies not in pursuit of fame, but in staying true to oneself and embracing the simple joys of life. His contributions to music, art, and culture will continue to inspire generations, proving that even in the absence of the spotlight, the impact of an artist's work can still be felt far and wide.